So, you're in search of a utility knife. Chances are you're looking for something specific, something you won't just find at the local hardware store or at the shelf at Home Depot. Maybe it's an EDC-friendly box cutter, maybe you're in search of something more abstract, something with a unique design and form, or maybe you just want to make sure the $7 you already did pay at the hardware store for a utility knife was actually money well spent. I mean, how good can a sub-$10 box cutter really be? Well, in any case, this roundup is a solid benchmark of the space and will hopefully open your eyes to utility knives or box cutters you didn't already know existed, perhaps from brands you've never heard of. Also, before we begin, while each utility knife does have a different design, they all take standard blades, so picking up spares at the hardware store is completely possible. So without anything further, let's dive right in with our first EDC utility knife pick. If you can't pull yourself away from your DIY at-home project to run to the local hardware and need a dependable, no-nonsense, just get this utility knife that also won't even come close to breaking the bank, the Stanley Classic 99 utility knife is the de facto best budget pick, and proves that yes, $10 really can get you a decent utility knife. There are a few main qualifiers we have to discuss before we dive deeper with our top picks. First is form. The one you're already familiar with is this one from Stanley, highly recognizable walking past it in the aisle and about 6 inches in length, but some of our other EDC-friendly picks take on smaller, more design-forward characteristics, so keep that in mind. Second is the deployment system and how the blade is held in place. We'll call this the locking system. For the Classic 99, the blade has a few deep grooves on the top of the blade, and this intersects with the interior machining of the nose, firmly locking the blade in place until it's disengaged by doing this. Third is the handle type and with it, blade storage. Like we said, the Classic 99 uses a very familiar shape, ergonomic, nothing special, in other words, no machining for grip, just a rounded stainless steel hole with an internal cavity to store up to 3 heavy-duty utility blades. Which brings us to the fourth and largely final element of a utility knife, the materials. Yes, for the blade, virtually all blades should be a high-quality stainless steel, but the handle type will differ between steel, brass, copper, titanium, polycarbonate, rubber, or a mix of any of the above. The Stanley Classic 99 is stainless steel through and through, something you can toss around and not feel bad for doing so. To change the blade, you'll have to take the Stanley 99's 2 halves apart with a screwdriver, and once doing so, it's a quick in and out. Unfortunately, you do need a tool to change the blade. If the Stanley 99 had a quick release system, it's lights out for all other budget box cutters. Alright, let's take it up a Stanley notch. At their core, utility knives are trade knives that are meant to break down boxes, cut drywall, cut rope, and twine. If you're going to be doing a lot of this day to day, you want to upgrade from the Classic 99 to Stanley's more premium budget option, the FATMAX Xtreme Twin Blade Utility Knife, our best upgrade utility knife pick. The FATMAX is basically the core of the Classic 99, for lack of better words, taken to the extreme, building in features such as a curved handle design with textured rubber scales for grip along the top and the bottom, a dual blade deployment system to quickly swap between a dull and a sharp blade without needing to remove a blade to do so, and a proprietary instant change system for replacing both when both become dull. The FATMAX Xtreme is also 3 inches longer than the Classic 99, so grip will intrinsically improve as will storage capacity, going from 3 blades to 9 within the steel handle. To change the blade, push the desired blade to the open position, push the toggle to the side of the open blade, and then swap while continuously applying pressure to the toggle until the new blade is seated. No tools needed for this box cutter. Utility knives are versatile above all else. They have the advantage of blade swaps that folders and fixed blades don't, which give them a high reliability rating seeing that you have backup blades holstered. This also makes them prime for outdoor and survival situations, and as such, our best outdoor and survival pick goes to the Gerber Prybrid. Masters of knives and tools, outdoor gear supplier Gerber offers up this EDC-friendly 4.25-inch hybrid pry-bar utility knife multi-tool in a typically rugged form. Textured, durable G10 scales, and over a half a dozen pocketable tools. These include a pry bar, obviously, and a standard utility blade, a nail puller, wire stripper, small and large flathead driver, a bottle opener, and a cord cut notch. At only 2.9 ounces and only 1.25 inches thick, Gerber invites you to keep the Prybrid on a keychain. We really like how the deployment mechanism is built into the scale on the side of the Prybrid, not the top, making it almost impossible to deploy when not intended, since the push button doesn't tend to get snagged like a normal protruding unit would from the top. Gerber makes changing the Prybrid's blade easy without the use of tools. Press down here on this circular embossing and then the blade will easily pop free from the box cutter's internal frame. Our next pick, ToughBuilt, like Milwaukee, Bosch, Makita, and DeWalt, to name a few, is a dedicated tool and equipment brand, though with a relatively recent history having been founded in 2012. That's comparatively recent compared to, say, Milwaukee, who's approaching a century of manufacturing. However, the ToughBuilt scraper utility knife goes to show that despite its adolescent age, their products are impressively innovative, and as such, we chose this utility knife as the best multifunction pick. The central tenet of the scraper utility knife is the ability to transform the blade from the vertical axis to the horizontal, converting it from a traditional utility knife to a scraper with the press of your thumb without having to remove the blade. Check it out. The handle is built with a mix of metal, polycarbonate, and rubber grip points. A lanyard hole and can opener is built into the backside of the tool, and all in all, it measures just over 11.2 inches in length. In an age where buyers are eager to squeeze the most value and utility out of their tools, the 2-in-1 ToughBuilt scraper utility knife is certainly a crowd pleaser. ToughBuilt also makes blade swaps a breeze with this yellow QR toggle. Apply pressure down to the box cutter's yellow lever, and the blade slides free. With a length over 10 inches, it's nearly impossible to EDC the ToughBuilt scraper utility knife unless your day-to-day necessitates wearing a tool belt on a construction site. The James brand's The Palmer is our best EDC utility knife pick as a highly pocketable, design-forward tool with a nifty proprietary locking system. The Palmer's minimalist silhouette stands in stark contrast to the ToughBuilt utility knife we just reviewed, but that's really what makes the gear space so interesting. Same basic function, totally different form. The James brand's The Palmer stands as probably one of the most stripped-down utility knives on our list, with 2 flat anodized 60/64 aluminum scales measuring 4.1 inches in length and 0.4 inches thick, a lanyard hole, and a simple push-button mechanism. However, don't underestimate the Palmer just because of its simplicity. Inside, the locking and deployment mechanism is unlike any other. Check it out. In the first position, the knife is closed. In the last position, the knife is open. And in the middle position, however, the knife remains open, but the blade is removable, making swaps just that easy. To make sure you know exactly what position the box cutter blade is in, the James brand includes a couple color-coded lines to make sure safety is the #1 priority. This is a proprietary patent-pending system the James brand painstakingly developed, and if you're curious about its development, they have an excellent inside look right on their site. The custom James brand blades themselves are crafted from a high-carbon stainless steel, and they can be purchased in a pack of 10 for about $12. Unlike most of our other picks, the Palmer comes in over half a dozen different bright handle scale colorways. From FocusWorks comes the tongue-in-cheek Bob the Boxcutter, but as amusing as the name is, the utility knife is arguably one of the best bolt-action box cutters currently in production, and due to its small form factor, it takes our spot for the best compact utility knife. The Bob the Boxcutter could have also easily been our best EDC pick, because the bolt action on this utility knife is ridiculously addicting. At 3.25 inches long, by 1 inch wide, by 0.5 inches thick, the utility knife is machined from an anodized aluminum frame, like the previous James brand Palmer, uses a contrasting brass slide for the bolt action handle, and features a spring-loaded retraction and a magnetic quick-change blade retention system for convenient swaps. The Bob the Boxcutter comes in aluminum, titanium, brass, and copper, and while each are compact enough for EDC, look to the aluminum at 41 grams or the titanium for even more weight savings if you intend to holster the utility knife on a keychain. Swapping the blade on the Bob the Boxcutter does require 2 different bits, a T5H Torx and an H1.5 hex bit to remove one panel from the other. Once you remove the screws, be extremely careful taking the 2 halves apart, as there's a long spring that aids the bolt lock mechanism that risks taking off if you open the box cutter hastily. Once you've done so, flip the assembly over and remove the blade. Luckily, FocusWorks makes the back panel magnetic, so the spring actually hugs onto the plate and it makes it easy to put it back together. If you're a really hardcore minimalist, then you're going to love the titanium Aerocrafted Sideslip utility knife, as it's for all intents and purposes simply a well-designed cage around a utility blade, and stacks up as our best American-made pick, machined right in the heart of California's Central Coast. This is another serious contender for the best EDC utility knife, as it's a very small, highly pocketable, keychain-ready unit made of super lightweight grade 5 titanium with a low-friction bronze slider, totaling just 0.45 ounces with a blade, and even less at 0.31 ounces without a blade. All the pilots watching will understand the utility knife's name, a maneuver that allows an aircraft to descend quickly without gaining significant airspeed. And although the utility knife itself doesn't necessarily have anything to do with aviation, Aerocrafted's entire catalog is aviation-inspired and machined by a passionate team of fabricators and pilots with a penchant for making purpose-built tools prime for adventure of any kind. Another brilliant showcase of engineering with this box cutter happens by way of changing the blade. You'll do so by first lifting this tab and then applying pressure backwards to force the lever out of the open channel at the top. Remove the blade, then reverse the steps like so. No tools required. We're going to finish off this guide with our most premium pick, the Big Idea Design Titanium Utility Knife. If you're looking for an heirloom piece, this is almost certainly it. A handle made from a solid block of grade 5 titanium, a stainless steel blade mount with a quick release mechanism, a full size unlike a few of our other previous EDC friendly picks, and a grade 4 titanium reversible deep carry pocket clip. The Big Idea Design Titanium Utility Knife could also be a very capable contender for replacing a flipper. The deep carry pocket clip making it easy to keep on person, the flip tab deploying the blade as you would any standard knife that has one, and the frame lock function similarly to what you'd find on any knife of comparable value. Hell, there's even jimping on the mount. Dimensionally, the Big Idea Design Titanium Utility Knife is 3 3/4 inches long by 1 1/4 inches wide, comfortably fitting in the palm of the hand or, of course, the pocket as designed. Apart from the almost head-to-toe titanium build, the attention to detail, seeing as this is our most premium pick, is notable, with chamfered edges everywhere you look, deep finger grooves for comfort, and an even industrial stonewash finish. Also make sure to check out Big Idea Design's other titanium offerings, because if you're curating a titanium EDC collection, all their products are premium and designed with an immense amount of thought. The Big Idea Design Titanium Utility Knife's only inconvenience, although relatively minor, is the blade swap. You'll need a T6H Torx bit to remove the 2 screws holding the blade in place. If Big Idea Design can come up with an equally strong quick release mechanism, or at the very least one that's tools free, it's game over for any and all box cutters, budget or premium. A sincere thank you for sticking with us to the end of this guide. We hope you saw a utility knife at the very least worth a second glance. But if you didn't see one that caught your eye, head over to our editorial guide that often packs in a few more picks. And as always, we'd love to hear from you. Let us know about your favorite EDC utility knives below.